Got it. Okay. Sounds good, Linda. I think it is being
It's
recorded.
almost done.
Yeah, okay.
You can start introducing him.
Okay, sounds good, Linda. Thank you, Linda. The next speaker doesn't need any introduction. He has been a Toastmaster since 1993 and has been both area governor in 2004 and division director in 2016. His experience with volunteer leadership predates his Toastmaster leadership experience when he was the president of the San Fernando Valley chapter of the National Association of Purchasing Management. He is working on with his project leading in volunteer organization level 5 in the pathway strategic relationship. Tonight, he'll be speaking on that experience with the title, The Best of Times, The Worst of Times. We would welcome Alan Mann to deliver his speech, The Best of Times, The Worst of Times by Alan Mann. Alan, stage is all yours, please.
A friend once told me leading in a volunteer organization can be both the best of time and the worst of times. And reflecting back on my experience as the president of the San Fernando Valley chapter of the National Association of Purchasing Management, I could say my friend was correct. And Charles Dickens, who wrote that little bit of piece for A Tale of Two Cities, was spot on. A little backstory. I became a member of the National Association of Purchasing Management, San Fernando Valley, I'll use NAPM, SFV, back in 1988. I became a volunteer that first meeting. You know how it happens. You come to a meeting, they're organizing, the organizers walk up to you and say, so what do you want to do? What committee do you want to serve on? And you don't want to look like an idiot. So I said, just put me on membership. Within a couple months when we chartered, I was a director at large, which basically meant I worked on special projects. Wasn't responsible for membership. Special projects for the group. About 5 years later, one of the senior officers came up to me and said, Alan, we really need you to run for president. And it was put like this, Alan, you want, and I can't mention her name, so-and-so as our next president. And I thought for a minute, well, I really don't think so. I don't want to go through another year of these exasperating meetings where everybody's arguing at each other over stupid issues like who's going to be the next dinner speaker. We would hold monthly dinner meetings. And at that time, we had about 200 members. And we have garnered about 30 to 40 people at a dinner meeting, but we'd be arguing 2 weeks before the meeting about who was going to be speaking. And we'd be arguing about everything. And the individual who wanted to be president was a very divisive person, not a bridge builder, a bridge breaker. So, okay, I think I could do it, and I know at some point I should step up and take the reins, especially since I had a few opinions about things we should be doing. There was a contest, there was an election, and believe it or not, I won. And I came in to my term as president with some lofty goals. I wanted to ask senior people in the purchasing profession to act as advisors to the chapter on the types of topics and the types of things we should be doing, an executive Advisory Committee. I wanted to get members from a specific company involved on the board. As I said, we had 200 members. And there was one company that had 30 members, but none of them served on the board. And I wanted to get past these yelling and screaming meetings. Well, looking back, the best of times was I succeeded in some of those goals. I managed to get 3 individuals from that one company on our board as positions opened up. And all I had to do was make a phone call. All I had to do. I had to ask. I made it very clear, no arguing at board meetings. If you don't like somebody, take it outside. But some of the decision making was like herding cats. You know, you're trying, you got all these people here, all these cats, you're trying to move in a specific direction, and always 1 or 2 people resisting and going in the opposite direction. So that was very frustrating. And to make things worse, a mentor of mine called me up after a very special meeting where we had the international president come and speak, and dressed me down about certain protocols that I miss. I mean, just minor thing, faux pas that I missed. And I was dressed down over the phone. Fortunately, she did not do it over in public, but still, it was very frustrating. And after that phone call, I said, why am I doing this to myself? What's in it for me? Why am I killing myself and listening to this? So there were some good experiences. I felt I got things done, including no bloody noses at board meetings. But we still had that indecision and herding cats. I learned though, the best way to herd cats is 1 cat at a time. Push the person find them, sort of get them to move in one direction, then work on somebody else and get them to move in another direction. And eventually you could get most of the people to move in the direction and so we could have some decisions. And this experience of how to get people to do things, even though they don't really want to do it, helped me later on in my Toastmaster leadership experience. Would I be president again? I don't know. Probably not. It's time for always time for somebody else to take the leadership position. And that's something else I learned very quickly, that if you're in a certain leadership position for a long period of time, you shouldn't really stay in it forever, because you need other ideas. But looking back, there were some bad times, the worst of times, but there were some good times, the best of times. And I came out of the whole experience, yes, with a few less hairs on my head, but overall, I came out a better person that has helped me in other leadership endeavors. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Alan. That was a wonderful speech. Yes, definitely. I remember like best of times and worst of times in any